Hello, Scorpio friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Scorpio October 2023 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is for you if Scorpio is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Scorpio placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Scorpio friend, so birthdays around November 15th through the rest of the sign, or Scorpio degree around 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Sagittarius report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. I'm calling the theme of this month, and really for this time, the final countdown as your eclipse cycle ends. If you've been following my work or anyone else's work telling you about the importance of the end of 2021 through now, as your Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle is bringing radical changes, brilliant new beginnings, and sometimes endings that you're not wanting, or endings that you've been trying to make happen. This is all a mixed bag. It could go either way, and either way, if something challenging is going on, very likely that space that may be filled by something that exits your life is going to be filled by a lot of things that you also love. This is a bittersweet type of energy, a transitional time, a final countdown, a culmination of 2 years worth of storylines. And honestly, it's been longer than that, because this Scorpio Taurus eclipse cycle that has been going on for 2 years is still also the culmination of karmic storylines for your lifetime and also prior. So whether you believe in past lives or not, there is an energetic of ancestral karma that can be brought through the bloodline, even if you don't believe in your own soul, having been around before. But whatever your beliefs, a lot is getting wrapped up right now. And you may find that things that you have been struggling with for a long time, patterns that have been difficult, particularly around your view of yourself, relationships, and your relationship with money and self-sufficiency and shared resources and deep relationships, these are all about to change. And you have been having signs of this. This is not going to be a sudden surprise. You have been watching this, I'm sure. Maybe you didn't know what was going on, but now you do. So we're just going to start right off with the final countdown eclipse here, but we still have other things to talk about, like birthdays, like what happens in the weeks before your birthday to be aware of, all of the Libra energies, the planets going into Scorpio. There's a lot to discuss, but we're going to start with the very big dog right now. So October 28th, 5-degree Taurus full moon lunar eclipse. This is in your opposing sign. Don't be fooled by the fact that it's in Taurus, it's not in Scorpio. Nope. This is a polarity. Everything that's going on there is profoundly affecting you. Everyone in the Scorpio spectrum has a chance for radical transformation. Probably it's been ongoing. And those of you who are in the October born and early few days of November are in the hot seat big time. If you're not in that zone, doesn't mean that you're not going to have big changes, because I can't see what's in your chart. You may have other Scorpio placements that this eclipse is opposing. But for what I can see for sure is that if you're in that zone, you are getting very powerful changes from this eclipse cycle. And what's happening? So the full moon is ending a certain level of how you have been, yourself, your independence or lack of, your self-sufficiency or lack of. So let's say you've been someone who has been carrying other people financially and emotionally and otherwise. That chapter is very likely going to come to a close. Let's say you're a person who's been struggling to be self-sufficient financially or otherwise. That chapter could be coming to a close. So you see here, everything on the spectrum is open to happen. And it could be opposite for each person, depending on your situation. What we're talking about here is a reversal of whatever you've been working with. Okay, if you've been struggling with money, that may not be a problem anymore. If you've been struggling with your identity and your purpose, that might not be a problem anymore. These things could be opening up to show you the way of what you're supposed to do. And remember that eclipses happen on the ecliptic, and the ecliptic is where the north and south node calculations are made, and these are karmic points, okay? Things that are destined, things that are always been destined, things that we can't get out of. There is some free will in astrology, certainly, but the things that happen at the eclipse time, there are some things that happen at this time that are non-negotiable, were always meant and timed for this time, and the time is now. Okay, so this is a time to step into empowerment of all different levels. This is a time to shed karma and difficulties and patterns. Things are going to be different than they used to be. And if you can gracefully just ignore the fact that you're walking out of one portal into another, then you can do really well. It makes me think of a movie that I saw. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to have any spoilers, but basically starts out in a cartoon world where there are happily ever afters, and then this witch throws the princess into a well to get rid of her because she doesn't want her to marry her son. And then she goes through this portal, falling, and then it goes from animated to real life. And up she comes with her big princess dress up through a portal, through a pothole in New York City. Could you imagine? Okay, if you've ever been to New York City and you see the potholes there, just imagine right in the middle of traffic, a princess coming up, barely being able to get her big dress out. And so she goes from that world just like right into this different world. Now, she did have trials and tribulations, but she did get her happily ever after. So don't worry about that. But the point is, you're very likely going to feel like you stepped through a portal that defies time and space to find out that you may be delivered right into the life of your dreams. Some of it may seem hellish at first because of the transition or what you might have to let go of to get there, which again would be non-negotiable. There are not always a lot of choices when it comes to these eclipse things, but once the news is delivered, you will have choices about how you're going to implement the way that it's going to be. Okay, so this is happening. And we could talk at length about this on and on, but I think I've given you a good picture of what's happening. If you want to understand this more, look for, go to Annie Botticelli, my homepage on YouTube, look for the playlists. Find my eclipse playlist, look for eclipses in Taurus, and then also look for eclipses in Libra or the 7th house, because that's the house that the eclipse is going to happen for you. Also, that eclipses in Libra video is going to be double time for you, because that will also cover the fact that on the 14th of October, we have a new moon eclipse in Libra. Okay, so you've got double duty as it relates to the me, we, and my stuff and our stuff sector. What's also at play here now that was introduced in the spring or fall for you all down under of this year is the Aries Libra eclipse cycle. So this is bringing more stories of autonomy and balance in relationships. Okay, so this is continuing the storylines that were opened up from the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle, different levels, different chapters. But what this is also bringing as a new element is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health and wellness, your day-to-day experience versus your dream time experience, and the logical versus the intuitive, and the ethereal versus the mundane. Okay, so those storylines are going to be very drastically opened for you. Also look at the eclipses in Pisces or the 12th house, because that's where the house that this Libra eclipse on the 14th of October is going to be for Scorpio. Okay, so between all those videos, you'll have a very nice picture of different layers of how the eclipses are affecting you. And the more layers you know, the more you can understand these complex webs, which can mean you can use them consciously and you can make the most of them. Okay, so obviously partnerships are going to be front and center. And as the planets crowd in Libra, so this is Pallas Athena, this is Mercury, the Sun, Mars, in a longer term transiting South Node, all in Libra, that crowds your 12th house of Pisces, okay? So this is a time, and this, of course, the Sun moves through this space before your birthday, the weeks before your birthday, or before the Sun crosses over your Scorpio placement in the solar charts. This is all about facing your fears, dealing with addictions, clearing out karmic gunk. As I said, the eclipses will be doing some of this on their own, but you can actively do this, and basically getting rid of belief systems that are keeping you limited. Okay, but you have to brave it. It's very Harry Potter-like in that way, where, the battle is really fought inside your mind and everything else outside externally is secondary. And as you win the war and become empowered internally, that echoes out. So this is a huge empowerment cycle for Scorpios. It has been, it's going to continue to be going on. So for the last 2 years, it's been happening. Now it's going to be solidified over the next year and a half as we go through the rest of the Aries Libra eclipse cycle. You're going to have to make good decisions about your health, things that you're going to be taking on now. You might have more responsibilities. Your physical body may be tired from things that you've gone through, and there's going to be a strong focus on your wellness on every level. When the sun and other planets move through the 12th house, there is a temptation to self-medicate for people who are inclined to do that. I am not in any judgment of the choices that you're making at all. I do want to offer you some understanding as to why before birthday time or before the sun crosses over your Scorpio planet, that people tend to get inclined to self-medicate in hopes that you'll do something different. Your 12th house is crowded. This is your unconscious mind. So the things cycling through your head and your emotions are in double time. Some people are trying to shut that down, right? So maybe make the choice. I mean, obviously do what you're going to do, but you've got opportunities here from the planetary perspective. Every character, which we call the planet, every planet is a character, and every character is at a party in your unconscious mind. And every character there has something for you. They want to help you in some way. They want to help you end the war with yourself. They want to help you end the war, how that goes out to other people. It wants to let you see the hidden gifts that you have. It wants to help you to be bold and brave. And to do what has to be done. And some of this might involve psychology, spiritual development, inner work, anything having to do with, like healing trauma, neurolinguistic programming, things like that. And for some people, maybe nutrition could be a big piece here. And this is a storyline that could be coming up over the upcoming years as well. Very highlighted now is if your brain chemistry is off, your diet may need to be adjusted, and you may need some supplements or something. Again, I'm not diagnosing or treating. I'm just saying that from the chart perspective, with this focus on health and wellness, practices that you can have control over, okay, your free will part here, you can possibly help to change your brain chemistry with professional help, doctors or counselors or something, or through your spiritual healing path. So this is a very big time. Like I said, empowerment is really the key word here. So just look for the places where you're throwing your power away or giving your power away and stop doing it. I know it sounds simple, but I know it's not as easy in the translation. So as the month progresses, Mercury, the Sun, and then Mars will get into Scorpio. So these are speaking your language big time. And all of these planets are going to accentuate your physical body, your wellness, your fitness, your purpose, your direction. This is a new cycle of rebirthing for you, whether it's your birthday or not, where you get to make your birthday wishes if it's going to be your birthday, or if you have to wait till November for that, whenever it is. And also for you to just take stock of what you've got going on with your physical body. This may mean hearing symptoms as your body asking for help or support and translating them. So rather than suppressing them, exploring what they may be having to say. And, this may be a big part of your journey in the upcoming time. Okay, some other things to know about this month. We have a drastic imbalance of salty compared to sweet aspects this month. It's the first time this has happened, possibly all year, with this dramatic an imbalance. So just be extra aware as chaotic forces are going to be supercharged at this time. A lot of road bumps, nothing to fear, just things to be aware of. This is a dicey month. You can imagine that life is a video game. This is a part in the video game where everything is coming at you from every different direction. Okay, so again, if you know that, like if you're in the video game and you're like, oh, okay, in this forest, everything's going to come from everywhere to get me, then in October, everything's going to be coming from everywhere to get you. So bring all of your, protection and awareness and just kind of be ready to dodge things. And as these speed bumps come along, just try to go slowly over them. Big date to watch out for, October 8th, we've got what could be kind of dangerous, really, a Mars square Pluto. Again, nothing to be afraid of, but from around October 3rd through around October 13th, the closer to October 8th, the more powerful. This, dramatic, volatile, annoying, stressful, conflictive aspect is, really, really, really happening. Avoid agitating crazy people, right? If you see someone is acting out of hand, you don't want to antagonize them. You also don't know who is on edge. So try to avoid, just tread lightly at this time. And this also could be time to hide under a rock. If you can do that, then do that. But if you can't, then just pray, be aware, and navigate your best way. If you're not in a safe situation, it'd be very good to get into a safe situation, especially during this time. So, this is pretty dicey. But good news about it is that square aspects, especially volatile ones like this, can actually be used to crack you out of a matrix. And this is what I always say about these difficult aspects. Yeah, they can bring drama, they can bring stress, they're pressure points, but they can also bring freedom. Okay, so one of the taglines here for Scorpio really is freedom. It's this story of freedom and responsibility. And this is a big theme that's coming up. But you may be able to get freedom from cracking out of something that you have been challenged with. And it could have something to do with relationships. And it could have something to do with work and father figures and things like that as well, as could the eclipse cycle. We do also have 6 oppositions this month. Oppositions may pull you in different directions. So you may feel like you're really needed in one area and then things really need you in the opposite area. So trying to balance those opposites is going to be a continued theme. We also have 6 beautiful counterbalancing trines. So trines are very favorable, the most favorable aspects. The earth trines can bring mega manifestation. So these are great for taking important steps to be successful in the long term. So if you're having to initiate something from the news that came, October is going to be a great month to birth new things and to start new things, especially things in the material realm. Also, the water trines are going to help bring sweet connections and spiritual insights and deep dive emotional connections with others and, spiritual breakthroughs. So this is beautiful. If you like knowing more about the dates, the sweet and salty dates and the aspects, you will love my newsletter that I send out once a month, 1 month early. You can go to anniehelpsyou.com, just put your name and email address in there, and you will be part of my VIP community. You'll get my email written report with the sweet and salty aspects. You get that at the end of each month. You can also access all the archives. You will get my mini astrology lessons. You'll get my links to resources that I and my team have created for you to make the most of whatever's going on in the stars at this time. Plus, you'll get my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine, which is a very powerful program for inner work, really great for this 12th house series of transits. And you get all that free. So you can see that, plus my other free offerings at anniehelpsyou.com. So this is definitely going to be a very life-changing month, a lot coming to fruition and a lot coming to pass and also passing behind. This is a lot of big goodbyes and big hellos at this time. If you would like to learn astrology, I'm your girl. Go to lumelife.com, Lume life.com. These links are also in the notes underneath the video or podcast. You can see my beginner's course, Astrology Basics and Beyond, to learn to read charts in 6 easy steps. If you want to tie it all together, do it professionally or go deeper and get your confidence and learn about all kinds of other charts and other cool things in astrology, you will love my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification Course, which you can see at lumelife.com, Lume life.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.